Hello, empowered woman. Welcome to this episode of the Empowered Woman Podcast. Today, I'll be talking about faith and how it's played a part in my business growth, especially in the last few months. I share a key reframing I've experienced when it comes to my definition of success and how this could be the missing ingredient for you in your business. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Empowered Woman Podcast, the #1 show on personal growth, visibility, and profit for women entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to start believing in yourself, giving yourself permission to succeed, and let your voice be heard to make an impact in the world as an entrepreneur, this is the place for you. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Marta Spurk, and I'm your host, triplet mom, woman empowerment coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. Full disclosure, I did not expect to be recording an episode this week about this, but this has been really getting stronger and stronger in my life, and this week it proved itself to be something that needed to be shared, that it's not something that I want to keep for myself or that I feel like I need to wait to talk about. So if you've been following my journey, if you've known me for a while, or for a little bit, but you've heard me talk about my background growing up in church and how that was a huge part of my life for several years. And that's how I met my husband. I met my husband in a church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And also, if you've read my book, which I'm so excited, I literally just finished recording the audiobook for my book. So if you've been waiting for the audiobook to listen or to, read my book, quote unquote, it's going to be available soon. I believe it takes 10 to 14 days for them to admit it once it's submitted. So it's happening and I'm so excited. So in my book, I share more extensively what this journey of faith has been like for me growing up in church. But here on the podcast throughout the years, I have shared that obviously that's impacted me in my life in many ways, in my business growth, because I started exploring different things in terms of personal growth, manifestation, law of attraction, things that are in the self-help realm, personal development realm that were kind of frowned upon, at least in my specific church community that I was involved in. And then being my own person, being an adult, having my own family, being married, being far away from my family and from the church experience that I grew up in, I had the liberty and the freedom to explore things and to read books and to sign up for courses. And I think especially last year when I took several different courses on the subconscious mind and opened myself up, and this has been really since 2020, to NLP and other modalities of self-hypnosis, and started seeing that they were nothing but repetition so that your brain gets used to something, and you start reprogramming your subconscious mind. I started noticing parallels with what I'd learned in church and with what I'd been exposed to in terms of the Bible and the Word of God. But for the most part, and this has become clear to me now, it wasn't clear as I was growing my business, I have felt shameful and guilty that I wasn't following the path of, or I guess my relationship with God had looked very, very different. And in many ways, I wondered if the path that I had chosen for my life was wrong because of my faith background. I grew up believing I was going to be in ministry for the rest of my life. That was the path to follow. And then I decided that it wasn't the path to follow because of being brought up in it and seeing the behind the scenes, witnessing several different stories and people's families and lives falling apart and just being a part of it and noticing a lot of the hypocrisy. I decided that I didn't want that for me. And my husband was really on the same page because his family grew up in church. And we kind of, distanced ourselves from it. And I think a lot of the change that I am now experiencing started because last year, when the kids were supposed to start kindergarten, we decided to pull them off of public school and put them in a private Christian school. And with the kids learning so much about the Bible and learning so much about God and coming home and telling me things and asking me for things, it started really reviving that for me in my heart. And recently, I may have mentioned this, I started taking this course with Catherine Zinkina, who is her brand, her business is called Manifestation Babe. And I joined her program, the Manifestation Babe Academy. And to be honest with you, if you had asked me even a year ago if I would be in this program, I would have said no. Because for the longest time, I had associated these ideas of manifestation with something that I didn't want to associate myself with. But in being in the business space, if you're not following coaches that are Christians, that are talking about faith, you hear people talking about the universe and source and, your higher self and all of these different things. And I was always trying to kind of reconcile that with the knowledge that I had been brought up with. And especially this year, I've been noticing that there are so many parallels, and I can choose to call it what I believe. And even with learning so many things from people that do not recognize Christ and do not believe in that, I have always felt the pull to recognize Jesus, to recognize the Holy Spirit in the things that I do. And ever since publishing my book, I have shared this, that it's been kind of like an emotional roller coaster for me, book plus TEDx in such a short span of time. It's really made me reflect on my journey so far, ever since having triplets, but even way far back. And it made me realize, like, something clicked, that what I'm doing really is ministry, even if I am not holding a Bible and reading Bible verses. Because I know there are coaches, strategists that openly say, I am faith-based and I serve faith-based people. I have never wanted to go that route, and I don't really see myself going that route. But what I have felt pulled to do as of this week is to mention that this is what I believe in, and this is what I have been infusing in my life and in my personal business. So the last couple of months, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I grew closer with a friend that is also a Christian, but has vast knowledge of astrology and all sorts of things. And we've been talking about this, the parallels, and that at the end of the day, what we really believe in is Jesus. And it's been comforting to find somebody else, and her name's Chrissy, by the way. She's a good friend, and just last week she moved to Florida, from Colorado to Florida, which is sad, but I know that she came into my life at the right moment, because there are no coincidences, to really help me with this reconciliation. Because one of the things that came up for me as I started the Manifestation Babe Academy program was that this was the year for me to reconcile my relationship with God. And here's where my new definition of success comes in. And this is where I believe faith really is combined with this new definition of success, is that I am seeing more and more that being more successful is allowing yourself to be more supported, is fully understanding, accepting, and embodying the concept of you can't go through life alone. Yes, it is an individual journey, but you are not meant to go through it alone. Because if you have a calling and things to do, that means people are going to be around you to receive your gifts. You can't impart your gifts to nothing, to the ether. It has to be for other people. We need each other. And there is this expectation, I believe, in entrepreneurship, because we are such go-getters. That's part of the makeup of entrepreneurs, is nothing will stand in my way. There is an expectation in there that you have to do it alone, that you earn an extra badge of honor if you are able to figure things out without asking for help. And this happens in motherhood as well. But I think in entrepreneurship as it happens too. And as you grow as an entrepreneur, you grow because you allow yourself to be supported, right? You get to a point where you understand you can't do it all yourself. You need to hire, you need to outsource. You become more open for feedback. You become more open for criticism. You literally grow as a human being, and you don't take things as personally. And that's how you grow. And so my definition of success has shifted to understanding that I need to allow myself to be supported. And that means not only by mentors, peers, friends, family, clients. It has also meant that I now see very, very clearly that I can't grow past what I've already grown without God, without His support, which has always been there, but me surrendering to it. And there is part of a song that I really loved. It stood out to me recently when I was listening to it, that says, "My clinging to you is willing you embracing me." So there's a difference with allowing somebody to embrace you, or standing there and letting someone embrace you, and clinging to that person and willing for them to embrace you. That gives me chills. Whew, may get emotional. This is really what I feel, is that it's not that I didn't believe that God was supporting my business and that He was around me. I think in a way I didn't want to know. Just in case it wasn't His vision for me, I was going to do what I was going to do. It was kind of like a prodigal son moment. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, whether you're on board or not, God. And knowing that He would still love me and receive me. And knowing that He's been blessing me this entire time. But what feels different right now is the fact that I am clinging. I am leaning. And that means I am being more open to receive. And the way this has manifested is that as I've been going through this course, there's a lot of understanding how the universe works. She talks about the universal laws, which are so in alignment with what the Bible says too. And there is one of the laws that Catherine describes, that is the law of unwavering faith. No matter what it is, especially that at that 11th hour, you're going to pull through and things are going to work out. That really is faith, right? Is acting without knowing the end result. That's the bottom line, is just believing. And in understanding all of that, thinking about all the different RTT things that I listen to that are over and over reaffirming, that I am prosperous, that the clients are coming to me, yada, yada. I was like, I started really remembering all of the days and the years that I spent repeating verses, which in the church that I grew up in, it was called confessing God's word. It was repeating those words, not to convince God, but to really convince yourself that it's already been done and it's available for you. And little by little, this started in December. After I would work out, I would spare like 10 minutes where I would just lay there on the ground, allow myself to be still, which is hard for me as a doer, and then just talk to God, which for a while was weird for me. I mean, I'd spent so many years having such a close relationship with a person, really, is what I looked at God as. And after so many years, it became kind of awkward where I didn't know what to say. And you may resonate with this, and I would love to hear from you if it does. And I just started with, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, like small stuff. And, praying for my family, for my friends, for my kids, for, my business. And then part of my business prayer was, Jesus, I know that you know who the women are that need my help. And I believe that you're touching their hearts right now to get in touch with me. I receive messages, I receive emails, I receive phone calls, I receive referrals, and I would pray for my clients and all of that. And I started paying attention to when I would get those messages, right? Out of the blue messages, or people just reaching out after I created a call to action in a post. Things that, yes, have happened in my business for the longest time, but I started attributing it and therefore becoming more grateful to my prayers, to being answers of my prayers. And ultimately this week was the ultimate, it was like the last straw for me to be like, all right, this is God. This is answer prayer. So this past week, and you may have noticed, I decided to promote my Mentors Stu McLaren's membership experience, which closed yesterday, by the way. If you're in, I am so excited for you. And if not, you got to wait till next year. But it's an amazing experience. And I was kind of nervous because I've never done this to the same capacity. I've never promoted somebody else's program as extensively as I did this. And I was afraid that nobody, for one, that it would be a waste of my time, that nobody would join, and also that it would actually cause the opposite effect, that people would be annoyed that I was promoting somebody else's stuff. You know, all the limiting beliefs, all the fears and worries. But I just went with it. And especially since he asked me to be interviewed, I was like, no, I want to interview this. But I had no idea the impact that this would create in my business, honestly. Like, I just stepped out in faith and decided to do it. I remember Monday, when it was the first day that I was promoting the paid offer, not just the free resources, the workshop and all that, I had that little voice inside of me saying, Marta, this is stupid. No one's going to sign up. And I didn't even know that I already had a message from a client from Sunday night in my inbox saying she was ready to sign up through me. And then later that day, I received a message on my Facebook business page, which if you have a business page and you're not a big shot, you don't even get that many messages unless you're running ads, right, in your business page. It's mostly your personal profile. I get a message from somebody saying, Marta, I watched your interview with Stu. I'm really interested in joining, and I want to join through you because the bonuses look amazing. And I was like, what? Who is this person? Never met. Literally, my interview of 20 minutes with Stu was enough for her to think I should be the one that she should sign up through, when there's so many other people that are affiliates, like Amy Porterfield, and so many extremely successful business owners are affiliates for Stu's program. And this person decides that I am the person. Like, if that isn't a validation and confirmation that I'm on the right path, I don't know what is. And I was just like, this is incredible. Literally, that's the prayer that I've been making or saying. I keep thinking in Portuguese. You don't make a prayer, right? You say a prayer. That's the prayer that I've been saying. You know the women who need my help, and they will contact me. And this is exactly what happened. So the reason why I'm sharing all of this is that I want to, first of all, ask you if you have been leaning on your faith for your business. And I've asked this inside my group, by the way. If you're a part of the Empowered Women community, say hi. And if not, go join. It's my free group on Facebook. I was like, I'm stepping out and more openly talking about my faith. I want to know, do you pray over your business? And several ladies have said yes. Before a meeting, or it's what I do every day. And it was just so fun to hear. And it is something that I want to be talking about more, because it's that willingness to be supported, not only by hiring a coach or, having an accountability buddy or being a part of mastermind, but also allowing God to be present, activating your relationship with him and allowing him to be, to take the reins of your business. And I'm excited to share more on this. I don't know where I'm going with this necessarily. If it's helping women say specific prayers for specific events in their business, because this is what I'm learning with the manifestation concept, is that it helps for you to have that vision of what you want. It doesn't have to be super detailed. Some people are specific manifestors, some people are non-specific, but you need to envision this. And this is really what prayer is. And at times we don't know how to pray. And I've learned quite a few things in my entrepreneurial journey. And also I have had years of experience with the Bible and with, teachings of faith. And so I guess this is basically an episode to encourage you to continue on if you've been trusting God to grow your business. And if not, maybe this is the nudge that you needed to start saying those prayers, starting small like I did. I'm just going to stay here for a few minutes on the ground and say a prayer and be intentional about it. Or maybe that hasn't even crossed your mind and you would like to learn. You don't know where to start. I would love for you to reach out to me. And in fact, this is something that I've been using in all my podcast episodes. I forgot to do it in this one. Starting every episode by saying, would you please reach out to me on social media and tell me if this episode was helpful to you? What was your biggest aha? What was a word that I said that was like, oh my gosh, I needed to hear this? Take a screenshot, tag me on social media and say, this was great and what it was. Just let me know. You can post it publicly or just send me a message or send me an email. Do something because it can get lonely here. I mean, I love talking, but it can get lonely. I need to know what's resonating and what feedback you have. And just by me saying this yesterday that, I'm allowing God in my business intentionally now, I've had people message me and say, Marta, you're going to lead people to Christ through your business. And this is what I'm seeing. Even if it's not me being a preacher, but helping them with their business, I am spreading the word, so to speak. So I'm really excited about it. I am so grateful for the people, the ladies that decided to join me for Stu's program. I have more cool stuff coming up. Like I said, my audiobook is going to be ready soon. And I am excited for everything that has been unfolding and knowing that I'm not alone. It's just such a relief that I don't have to do it all myself. Being a doer, that is a struggle, right? I think for all entrepreneurs, but like I said, for doers, it's a little bit harder because we struggle with asking for help. We feel like we need to do it all alone. So if that's you, let me know. Also, go take my quiz. It's been incredible to see the response I've been getting from this quiz. I've had close to 200 people take the quiz, sign up for the quiz, and just heard feedback from someone else saying that they love my email sequence going out, helping break down the characteristics of the types. Somebody else said that the videos are super enlightening and it's helping them understand their spouse, their clients. So I'm onto something here, friends, obviously. And I'm so excited that you've been along for the ride. So yeah, connect with me. Remember that if you want more support, the doors of the Empowered Woman School are open for you to join us, to check out a meeting, to get that accountability and really understand and accept that you can't do this alone. And there's lots of support out there for you. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I am so excited that you're here listening to me. Don't forget to connect with me. Like I said, I will say it again. If this resonated with you, take a screenshot, tag me. Tell me why this resonated, what about it resonated, so I can keep sharing. Let me know which one of the three you are. You've already been leaning on God for your business. You really weren't, but now you feel called to, or you don't know where to start, and you would love for me to share more on this. I would love to hear from you. Go take my 6-figure personality quiz. Join me in the Empowered Woman School. All the links in the show notes. Until next time, bye.